I would much rather live a life where I am completely free and not having to worry about anything showing and just completely free to love the person in front of me. Welcome back to God Nod. My name is Kasey. If you are new here, I am a Catholic YouTuber who strives to post videos to help you grow in holiness and help you build your relationship with Jesus and Mary. And today, I am going to be sharing my one rule that I use to help me dress modestly. Now, this is a huge topic, and there are so many things out there on how to dress modestly. And so this is just coming from me and how I try to dress modestly. But before we get into that, I would like to read what the Catechism of the Catholic Church has to say on modesty. You can find this in paragraph 2521 and 2522. And so the Catechism says, purity requires modesty, an integral part of temperance. Modesty protects the intimate center of the person. It means refusing to unveil what should remain hidden. It is ordered to chastity, to whose sensitivity it bears witness. It guides how one looks at others and behaves toward them in conformity with the dignity of persons and their solidarity. Modesty protects the mystery of persons and their love. It encourages patience and moderation in loving relationships. It requires that the conditions for the definitive giving and commitment of man and woman to one another be fulfilled. Modesty is decency. It inspires one's choice of clothing. It keeps silence or reserve where there is evident risk of unhealthy curiosity. It is discreet. So again, that can be found in paragraph 2521 and 2522. And so I just wanted to read that because I think there can be a lot of confusion on what modesty is and what the church has to say about modesty. But those are just two paragraphs that talk about modesty, and you can be modest in many ways in how you act and how you love people. But in this video, I want to specifically talk about modesty in dress, and specifically how I pursue modesty in the way I dress. Growing up, all the way to now, I've heard many things on modesty, and what's interesting about modesty is it can change based on where you live and your culture. It's not like to be perfectly modest. There's like this one set of rules that you have to follow to be like modest, to dress modestly, because every culture is different. What might be modest in California might not be what's modest in Alaska. It's just different based on where you live, because it's based on so many different factors. However, I do believe that there are some guidelines to modesty, and I just want to share my one rule that I have kind of come to over the years that helps me dress modestly. If you read different books about modesty or listen to different authors or podcasts or different people or talks on modesty, sometimes there are a list of things, a list of rules that can help you, like don't wear low-cutting shirts or don't wear short shorts or things like that. And sometimes it can be kind of exhausting to keep track of all of these different rules. And so over the years, I've basically come down to this one rule that shapes how I dress. And it has been life-changing for me in the way I dress and how I love others. Here is my one rule that I follow for modesty. And it sounds a little silly, but it works. Here's my rule. My rule for modesty is to wear clothing that allows me to do a somersault without me having to worry about a single thing showing. I know it sounds a little weird and crazy and silly, but it works. If I can leave my room dressed where I know that I can do any activity, any situation, and not have to worry about a single thing showing, then I think that is the best way to dress, because it allows me to be fully myself and to be fully present to the people around me. Now, I have been trying to live this rule for the last couple years, and I can't tell you how freeing it's been to live this rule in my life. It can be kind of extreme because it does require some different choices in clothing and how I dress. But I can tell you that it has been so worth it because it enables me to not have to worry about anything when I leave my room and I go out into the world. No matter the situation, I don't have to worry about a single thing showing. I don't have to worry about holding something down or pulling something up or readjusting any clothing, because by the time I leave my room, I have everything secure and covered. And now, I don't do a somersault or roll on the ground or something every single time I go, but it's that principle of, is what I'm wearing allowing me to be fully present to the person in front of me, no matter what the situation is, that I'm not gonna have to worry about readjusting my clothing. Because for me, I've had a long walk with modesty and dressing modestly, and my rules have changed a lot over the years on like what to wear, what's too low, what's too high, all of the rules, what to show, what not to show, all these things. But the last couple of years I've followed this one rule, and I believe that it is, for me right now at my time in my point of life, it has been the best rule I think that I have adapted, and because it has allowed me to live so much more freely. Take for example, when you go on a walk outside, this is especially for women, and you're wearing a dress, and let's say, you think it's long enough, but let's say it's a windy day, and now you're having to hold down your dress because it's a windy day. And think about if you just had a longer dress and you wouldn't have to hold it down on a windy day. And so that's basically the principle, is can I leave my room without having to hold anything down or pull anything up? Or let's say in your situation where you have to stand up and sit down a lot, maybe you're at mass, or is everything you're wearing, do you have to pull anything down or pull anything up? Think about a life where you don't have to ever readjust your clothing. That is basically the goal, to wear clothes where I don't have to readjust or worry about anything showing, or hold anything down, because it allows me to be fully free and not have to think about that, and not let that have to be something in the back of my mind when I'm with someone. Is something showing? Do I need to adjust something? Because that can be really distracting when you're with someone. And I think for ladies, it's especially hard on this one. I'm an athlete. I played college soccer, and so sometimes with sports, it can be really easy to wear clothing that can be more revealing when it comes to athletic shorts. And with shorts, I feel like it's really tricky. But if I'm ever in a situation where I know it won't just be me working out or something, but if I know there will be other people around me, I always try to wear slides underneath that are at least mid-thigh, or even longer, so that no matter what position that I'm taking when I'm working out or stretching, that I don't have to worry about a single thing. Even when it's hot out, I just am not a big fan of shorts, because I feel like I just think shorts are just so hard to dress modestly and dress cute. I think there are some shorts out there that work, but it's hard to find those shorts. What I try to do with that is I love long dresses, I love long skirts, and I just love pants. I think it's much easier to wear those things to dress modestly and be cute than try to wear shorts, even when it's hot out. And for me, the sacrifice is worth it. Not because I don't think that you can wear shorts and dress modestly. I really do think you can. However, I think it's just hard. And for me, I would rather be overly dressed than underdressed, just because I really do value modesty. I had to go through my closet. Once I started adapting this rule, it even had to do with tops. shirts that have like a V cut, and then like, oh, I can wear a cami under it. But sometimes even camis, when you like bend over, it doesn't cover things. And so I have just tried to, whenever I go shopping, to just buy shirts that I don't have to wear camis under, or just undergarments, because I can just trust that everything in my closet, I don't have to worry about that anymore, and I can just wear clothes, the clothes that I have, and just be free in them. And I know modesty can look different in different places and different parts of the world, but I think especially in America, we have the need to dress more modestly, to uphold our dignity, because we are body soul composite. We are not just body and we are not just soul. We as humans, like, that's what makes up us as a human, is a body and soul. And Christ became man and sanctified our bodies just by becoming man, becoming incarnate. And he has called us to a new life, to be new creations, and we have a dignity that needs to be upheld, and held to a high standard. And I know that sometimes that this rule of mine can, maybe it's like super strict to some of you, and maybe it's not at all to others. When I share this rule with people in person, people kind of like freak out a little bit, like that's a little overboard. And maybe it is to some, and maybe it's overboard to you. But I would much rather live a life where I am completely free and not having to worry about anything showing, and just completely free to love the person in front of me, no matter the situation or circumstance, and not have to worry about my clothing. And it just takes a little bit extra sacrifice in order to do that. And I do truly believe that you can dress beautiful and dress cute and adapt this rule. And so that's it, is my one rule, is to wear clothing that enables me to do a somersault and not have to worry about anything showing. Now, I know modesty is a huge topic, and dressing modestly can look very different in many different places and to different people. And so I would love to know just like your thoughts and your comments on this one rule that I have, this really kind of silly rule that I have just made up and compiled over the years of, instead of trying to follow all of these guidelines, just to follow this one rule of being able to walk out of my room and to not have to worry about a single thing showing, no matter what activity or situation that I'm in, whether the wind is blowing or whether I'm standing up and sitting down a lot, or kneeling or laying prostrate in front of the Eucharist on the ground. No matter what I'm doing, I can be totally worry-free about what is revealing or not, because it's covered. I hope this video was fruitful for you in some capacity, and I really just want to encourage you to pray with this rule and see if it might be something that the Lord also might be inviting you to do. Or if this is too extreme for you, maybe it's just one step of, maybe it's something with low-cut shirts or short shorts or whatever it might be. But that is what I have for you, and I just want to let you know that living by this rule has been so fruitful for me, and I just love dressing modestly. It makes me feel beautiful. It makes me feel seen. It makes me feel like when people talk to me, they are immediately drawn to my face because they aren't distracted by anything else that's showing. And it makes it so much easier to just, for the person to just get to know me as a person, rather than be distracted by what I might be wearing or not wearing. And so that's that. I hope this helps in some capacity, but please comment below if you liked this video. I would love for you to subscribe and share this video with anyone that you think that might benefit from this video. I think dressing modestly is something that's very hard to do in our culture, and if we can do what we can to inspire others to do so, I think it can do huge things for our culture. and helping others see the dignity in other people. Please know with my prayers, and God bless.